we had to get out the blue shirt for this video, an actual older blue shirt, to definitely have faith in this community. So, before you guys get your pitchforks up and rustle, I want to talk about how Mischief of the Time Goddess was in play during the YCS. And the social media blast on this guy has been absolutely fucking ridiculous. Oh my god, so many people think he cheated, that fuck this guy because of this, and I think there's been one hell of a misconception here. I actually kind of wanted to discuss this. Now, put your pitchforks down. We're not here to rag on the guy. No, we're not. We're here to discuss how this situation might have arose. We're not going to rag on the Konami judge team. I think the judge team does a phenomenal job at resolving these actions. You guys have to remember, if you're judging for 10 rounds, 9 rounds, 2 days of judging, these people's specific job is to record cards in hand and not so much to oversee what's going on the table. They're more there to make sure that these players kind of just playing the game, doing as they need to do. So keep that in mind before you immediately slam this video and say, no, they're supposed to be watching gameplay. Oh, fuck this shit. This is their job. Kind of, sort of. You're not wrong, my opinion. But their primary focus is to be inputting cards and essentially making sure that things are lined up for the stream. It's very important, very crucial to understand this. Alright? That's my 2 cents on that topic. I don't see any problem with that whatsoever. Next up, 2 battle phases were evidently executed. Okay. Yeah, shit happens. I failed to see why people don't understand that when you're playing this game, the stress level gets to you. Some people aren't fucking... They're not catered to playing in feature matches. Some people can't handle the stress. Why do you think certain people delete Facebooks during exam time to avoid certain distractions? Certain people have never topped an event before. Some of them don't know what the fuck they're doing. Stress. Not knowing how to handle large amounts of people watching you. They're just there to play Yu-Gi-Oh, man. If they're doing good, sure. Now, to the one person that's going to be like, no, Robbie, that's not how that works. You've never topped an event in your life. I don't care who you are. Unless you've experienced an actual frustrating day of handling top cut at an event and actually understanding the amount of stress that is on you in a feature match, understanding what's going on, I don't blame him for making a mistake like that, if it is even dubbed as a mistake. Excellent example of this happened at the last regional with a good friend of mine. Played him round 1. I potted duality as the first action of my turn. I proceed to resolve 3 other actions, including a hanger equip. My opponent forgets that potted duality has been activated in this turn, and Max sees me, fearing of the 2 monsters. Why would he do that? Because the stress indicator in his head, as he's thinking ahead to the future actions of the turn, the possible scenarios that could come up in his mind that could endanger him, overtook the thought that, hey, duality is in effect. Or many players are so enveloped in the game state that cards and secondary effects, once they resolve, such as lingering effects, such as potted duality, I even had an instance where I forgot about card demise's no damage clause. Yeah, that happens. It really does. And people are coming in with the pitchforks, and they're not considering the fact that stress is an indicator to all of these things. You know, if Yu-Gi-Oh is notorious for these 7 to 10 minute turn 1s to set up. If you've resolved X actions in a turn and you go to battle phase, you're like poke, poke, poke. Your main phase 2, if you forget in action, or even so much as forgetting the battle phase. Okay. I've had it to where I've asked my opponents if I've normal summoned in a turn because I've played 14, 15 cards. You know, kind of when you're sifting through your deck, drawing for outs, while you're resolving a zoo combo. Hell, if you're resolving the fusion substitution combo in the first week where a lot of people didn't know how things were resolving, at the end of the combo after you've resolved your cycle, your opponent is going to be like, are you sure you didn't Tiger Mortar this turn? Are you trying to cheat me over here? You know, these are things that a lot of these players in this game, the uneducated ones, or the ones that just want to take up the pitchforks just to have a cause to fight against. It's disturbing that more and more as this generation goes on, people fear, I guess, the ability to look at both sides of the case. You know, people don't look at the fact that there are multiple things that lead to the loss of information or the forgetting of information. Yeah, you can blame it on the intention to cheat, but I'm pretty sure that that was not the case that was going through the person's head. I want to believe that it was because of the amount of stress that was going on, because of the actions and the requirements and the mental stress of playing the deck. Even so much at casual events, we have these things fucking happen. You know, excellent example of this as well. I had a scenario years ago at a regional. But the judges called me up after a match, and evidently I had somehow did something similar. I don't remember the exact details of it. I think it was a miscalculation on my Cyber Dragon's attack points versus a Gladiator Beast with some sort of effect in play that modified attack and defense points. And they were asking me if I had intentionally caught that. Well, when you're playing Fish OTK and you're sitting here executing synchro plays and things like that, doing damage, you'll overlook a thing or two. And it's an honest-to-God mistake. I can't even be mad at myself for it. You know, you answer these questions as honest as you can. Obviously, there's no intent in your voice to cheat. You know, if you're hell, like if you're even sitting here having a discussion with these judges, and they're like, "Yo, did you cheat?" You're like, "What?" I think that was kind of the scenario back in the day, actually. Like thinking about this more and more, looking back at that moment at that regional. Yeah, it was definitely overlooked by me. And I'm not going to say that the opponent's at fault, but, you know, often at times, that's the scenario that happens. You know, so both players are so in-depth into the game that as players on the outside looking in, if they're not calling a judge to resolve an action that is detrimental to the game state, then there's not much that can be done about it. And even if it seems like, once again, if it's a mistake versus pure intention to cheat, I don't think that's the case. I just think a lot of players in this game seem to take this stress level that is given here while you're in just the middle of the game. You know, I rag on this game a lot for what it is. But one of the things I won't ever rag on this game for is for how intense it is. A game as intense as this making you forget that actions have been resolved, yeah, I'd consider that a good game. Proves that people are human, proves that people forget a lot of things. You don't have a log that you can look back on, unlike Dueling Book or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. You're playing in real life. And the moral of the story is, the more intense the game is, unfortunately, the more actions that might be unresolved. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing in this game. It definitely proves that the game is very good, but leaves a lot of room for improvement. I think a lot of our player base needs to adapt. If you're going to say at a 9-round tournament, after playing 8 rounds, that you're going to be on the top of your game going into round 9, probably not going to happen. There might be something that happens. Your opponent might take advantage of a situation. Your opponent might fuck up in a situation. It's just the way that this game plays. I definitely think that a lot of players need to be a lot more open to the extra things the stress levels that come with this territory. That's all I really got to say about this. So, everything in this video, start to finish, is my opinion, in my opinion, on the situation that has occurred. I want a lot more of my player base on this channel, whether or not you're a casual player, intermediate player, you've played regionals, you've topped events. I want you guys to weigh in on this. All sides of this story, I'm hoping that the competitive players will take advantage of what I've said in this video and will consider these things. Many players have played in these events for years. Many of these players have, the stress has different effects on them. But it is what it is. So, but yeah, guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I'm out, guys. Peace. That's not all, folks. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Please check out my Cardfight Vanguard channel, VanCole40. You guys will get an insight on our playtesting sessions. And please check out the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. That way you guys can follow the House of Champions and MCole40 interactions. Please check out MCole Games for all of your guys' trading card game needs. And if you guys enjoyed this content, please check out my Patreon in the description. Every bit helps to the creation of these videos. One step at a time in improvement, and that's the goal of this channel. Alright guys, have a good time, and thanks for watching.